let's talk about the Florida Gators here before you head to bed, sir. The Florida Gators.
Can I do it? Am I allowed?
Take down Auburn, and they're going to the national championship game. Walter Clayton had a career-high 34 points.
First player since Larry Bird to go for 30 in the Elite Eight and 30 in the Final Four. Since Larry Bird. So I asked him about that in the locker room. He has to know who Larry Bird is, right? But he was like, no, that's kind of cool. I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Kind of cool.
That's amazing.
He shows no emotion, though. On or
That's
off
what
the
makes him
court.
good.
Yeah, no, he's a killer. He's a stone cold killer.
First team All-American.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he's the best guard in the country.
First one in school history.
That was a shocker.
He's the best player left in this tournament.
I would have thought doing the Noah year. I thought one of those.
None of those guys were first team All-American.
That was a shocker.
He is. You know, look, watching that game, Florida was the more connected team. Florida was the better team. Florida was the more connected team. I was just watching guys go to the bench during timeouts and how Florida was going to their bench and Auburn was going to their bench. Florida's the more connected team. But the game changed.
Yes.
Up 9. Miles Kelly drives baseline right there. Shoots an awful shot. Floater. Hits the top of the backboard.
Yeah, he had no angle whatsoever.
Hits the top of the backboard. Florida comes down, scores. What now? That 9-point lead evaporated
Quickly.
in about 2 minutes.
And I think the turning point just was the second half in general, Matt. I felt like Auburn was more physical the first half.
Yes.
I thought Condon was very bad the first half.
Condon didn't have a good game at all.
And he was getting bullied around a little bit. Will Richard and how do you say it?
Hauk.
And Ruben. And the big guy early was awesome.
They changed the game. Will Richard got about 3 steals, got out of easy transition breaks. I thought those guys were huge X factors for Florida.
Matt, Florida is one of the few teams that for basically the whole game, you're committing single-man coverage to Johni Broome. They held him to 6 of 14 in the game, and as a result, in 2 games against the Auburn Tigers, Florida held Auburn to 14 of 47 from 3. They were able to turn off Auburn's attack from the perimeter, and they shut Todd Pettiford down.
But really, to me, the biggest issue for Auburn, they couldn't keep Walter Clayton out of the lane. Their pick-and-roll coverage was bad. He was turning the corner all game long. When he was coming off handoffs, when he was coming off ball screens, he was living in the lane. He kept turning the corner, and he was able to finish. I mean, we talk about his shooting, right? Like, you know, the threes that he makes are absolutely ridiculous. The guy was making layups today. Like layups. The possession down on that end of the floor where the whole lane just was wide. I'm like, where's Johni Broome protecting the basket?
Yeah.
Where's Johni Broome protecting the rim? Walter Clayton could have walked in and shot that layup.
Did you think he was 100%? Like, what percent would you put him at? Now that you
put him
watch.
close. I think I've seen him a ton this year. I know he's not 100, but the way Johni moves, always, he always kind of looks like he's not 100%.
This is where we could have used Dr. David Chow.
That's right. The doctor could have done a good evaluation here. Clayton just –
we paid for John Martin to be here. We could have paid for Dr. Chow.
That's very true. We could have got more from Chow, no doubt. Clayton, what blows me away about Walter Clayton Jr. is you can't speed him up.
No.
You cannot speed that kid up. I remember saying this when I saw him at Iona against UConn a couple years ago in the NCAA Tournament game. I'm watching him.
The only
and I'm
team
like,
to push UConn in the tournament
exactly,
for 2 years?
Exactly.
That's right.
This kid doesn't get rattled. He's poised. You don't know if he's up 20, down 20. I mean, Kelvin was just talking about him as I was walking out of the arena with him, and he's like, Clayton, top 10 pick in the NBA draft. I'm like, no, not. He's like, really? Like, how could he not be with what that kid's done? And he has turned himself into a first-round pick, I think, ultimately. But he could score in every imaginable way. You said, yeah, their defense hasn't been great. It wasn't great tonight. But a big part of that was
Walter Clayton, no question.
I mean, they don't know how to guard him.
The other thing too is I don't know if this story gets talked about enough. We're all fans because we were down there in Boca Raton watching him, Elijah Martin, to see what he did 2 years ago in this tournament, get his team to the Final Four, 1 possession away from playing for a national championship, to struggling last year. The expectations got to everybody within that program to seeing his coach go to Michigan, and now he's back here playing for it all. And some of the plays he made, I asked him in the back by the locker room. I was like, "Was that the best dunk of your career?" And he was like, "He's like, no, the one versus Kansas State." But we went and watched that one versus Kansas State. That's the best dunk of his career. That's not even close. I'll take that out of his hand.
When he sees the pictures and the video,
that's the best dunk of his career.
It got me out my seat.
We got Todd Golden with Rob from earlier. Here's that exclusive conversation.
Todd Golden, fresh off of advancing to Florida's first national championship game since 2007. That was when Bill Donovan was the coach. He was in the building tonight. What's it mean, man?
It's special. Just really happy and happy for our team, happy for our players and our staff. They've done a great job all year, just working hard to get ourselves in this position. And we're on the biggest stage in America, and our guys have stepped up in big moments and found ways to win tough games down the stretch. It's really special, and I'm really proud of our program to be able to compete on Monday night to win a national championship.
Second half, you guys came out with a different level of intensity. How much of that was Carlin Hartman in there firing everybody up? It
was part of it for sure. It was we were talking as a staff, and next thing I know, I hear Coach getting after him pretty good, and I'm like, all right, well, he's an amazing coach and has the respect of every player on our team. And I think he just kind of let them know, like, hey, like we weren't ourselves in the first half, and credit to Auburn. They're a great team, and they dictated. And for us to win the game in the second half, we had to flip it a little bit. And credit to our guys. They received the message, didn't pout, and then played with a lot better physicality in the second half. And our defense and rebounding was a huge reason why we were able to win that game.
I'm impressed with your ability to kind of bring it back down to even keel, because you are as fired up as I've seen you on the sideline today.
Yeah, it was a lot on the line tonight, and a lot of high stakes, and you're just fighting out there, fighting for your team. Trying to make sure you get a good whistle, trying to make sure that your guys know that you're behind them. And first opportunity for me to coach in a Final Four, probably a little more amped than some of these other guys that have done it before, but. I'll try to be a little more even-keeled on Monday night.
So you're the guy that's kind of like the analytics guy, that we're going to do it differently, we're going to do it the smart way, and you come out here and it's just, Walter Clayton's going to hit some ridiculous shots. That's how you're going to coach and win this game.
It's a great analytical decision to let him shoot the basketball first and foremost. But, big picture, defensively, I think our plan ended up working. In the first half, they got us a little bit with the one-on-one coverage in the post, but we didn't want to give their great shooters threes. We didn't, Janai's a great passer out of the post, and, I think we warmed down a little bit. He only made one field goal in the second half. We did a great job guarding the line. And most importantly, we finished possessions with one shot in the second half. It allowed us to get on transition a little bit, and, Walt and other guys stepped up and made huge plays down the stretch.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thanks, Rob.